Hey guys, I'm Sarah Chance. I'm your professor for reading, no, English 4200, young adult literature. It's a great class. I really enjoy teaching it. I enjoy revisiting the young adult literature every time. And I'm really passionate about our kids reading. So I love doing this class. If you could let me know if there's a good Zoom time for you maybe next week. I never heard back from anybody about that. I would love to just get on, see your face, let you ask questions, whatever we need to kind of go over. I'm just going to quickly go over the syllabus for you, and let you know anything maybe that's easier said than written on paper. Please feel free to let me know anytime you have questions. I'm fast on email, and that's a great way to contact me. If you want to call, I might not be able to answer, but I can call you back, and if you leave a message, or you can text me, okay? So on the front of the syllabus, there's my contact information. I gave a Harding email and a Yahoo email there. I will let you know that Canvas messages do not notify me when I get a Canvas message. It's different from email. So that is my least preferred way to communicate. Sometimes I don't see those for a couple days. So feel free to send me one if you don't mind waiting on that answer. If you need something quick, please email me or text or call, okay? So I'm looking at the first page of the syllabus. It lists the texts here that we're using. They're trade books, they're not textbooks. So you should be able to find them cheaply. Also want to throw this in, if you are pressed for time, but maybe you have time in the vehicle or you use some time in your day usually to work out, highly recommend checking out an audiobook of any of those to listen to. Audiobooks are a way that I get tons of books read because I listen to them. There's a lot of free apps you can use. Libby works at least with the Fayetteville Public Library, and I think with a lot of libraries around the country. And it's lots of books free to check out. Hoopla is another one, free app that connects to your library if your library offers those services. So you might want to look into that. And then I know there's some other ones too, maybe that you use. Feel free to post that, share that on email with us or on Canvas. So, okay. The next page just tells some point stuff there, and then I'm moving on through all this stuff to page 5, to the assignments. Really, the main thing in this class is to read. And some of those books are required, as you see, and I hate to do that. It's just with such a small group, I like to let there be a choice between a couple of different books, at least a choice between 2 different books for you. When I have a larger class, I'm able to do that because what we do with these books is we do like a discussion on Canvas, and when we're in the classroom, we sit together and talk about the books. When it's such a small class, we just don't have enough people to split. 2 people reading the same book is not really a group. So it's better if we have at least 4 people to read the same book and discuss it. So that's why we're just going to read the same books this time, and I really am sorry to do that to you because I really value choice, especially with our kids, but sometimes in these classes we just have to make do. So number 2 on the assignments tells when we want to listen or read each of these books. So for week 2, which will be next week, and I know that's soon, but we have 2 graphic novels, and those will be really quick reads for you, I think. Those you can't listen to. Sorry, I should have said that. Because that's the whole point. They're graphic novels. You have to be able to look at the graphics. It will not make sense if you tried to listen to it. I don't even think that'd be available. So for next week, you need to read Smile by Raina Tegmeyer and Hey Kiddo. I can't pronounce that author's last name, but you can see it there on the front of your syllabus. Those should be really quick reads, and those are middle-level young adult graphic novels. It's kind of like a comic book, but it's a little bit more cohesive, telling kind of a single story. For the 3rd week, we'll read For Freedom. That's a historical fiction novel. That's by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. Great book. Hope you enjoy it. Week 4 will be Sleeping Freshmen Never Lie by David Lubar. That's contemporary. That just means it's set nowadays and it's realistic. It's not like fantasy or anything. Week 5, you will have a choice between When You Reach Me, which is more of a kind of a gentle sci-fi. So if sci-fi kind of is like a turnoff for you, you might like this one because it reads a lot like a realistic fiction book. I love this one. If you love intense sci-fi, you might not care for this one because it is a little bit more realistic, but it does have some sci-fi aspects to it. And then The Girl Who Drank the Moon is the other choice there. That is a Newbery winner from the recent past, and it's fantasy, but it has some sci-fi elements to it. That one is a lot more high fantasy, so if you like high fantasy, you might want to choose that one. We do have a choice that week, so we will just try to make that work. Week 6, we will have read It Ain't So Awful Falafel, which is also historical fiction by Firuza Dumas. And then week 7 is Counting by Sevens by Holly Goldberg Sloan. That is contemporary realism. Week 8 is just kind of a makeup week there. Make sure you're all caught up on everything, because those are not the only books you have to read for this class. If you look at number 3, it says that you need to have 12 books total for this class, and if you count back up there, there's not quite 12. So if you look at the genres that you need to have read in contemporary realism, 2 of those 3 that you're required to read will have come from the Lit Circle. So Sleeping Freshman and Counting by Sevens are both contemporary realism. You will need to find one more, and I'm happy to recommend. You can look on Amazon for recommendations. If you scroll down on Amazon on a book, you'll see kind of an estimated age range. So that's usually helpful. And I can recommend some great ones. We are looking for books that aim for the audience to be from 5th through 12th grade. Okay, because really 5th is when like that real middle school book mindset sets in and some young adult fiction starts to filter in. Okay, so we want to go 5th through 12th grade. If a book is aimed at 4th through 8th, that's fine. Okay, if it's aimed at, say, 3rd through 5th or 2nd through 5th, I would not do that one. I would do one that's a little bit higher up into the range. Okay, if a book is aimed at 4th through 6th, that'll work. Okay, so something like that. For the historical fiction, again, 2 will come from the Lit Circles. That is It Ain't So Awful and For Freedom. You need one more I can recommend. You can read one that you've been wanting to read, whatever. Fantasy sci-fi, you need 3 books. So you only are required to read one of those, which is either When You Reach Me or The Girl Who Drank the Moon. And so you will need one more to make 3. If you want to read both of those, because you have them, you can, and then you just need one more. Or if the other one you didn't choose does not appeal to you, you just need to find 2 more fantasy or sci-fi books, okay? And then graphic novels, 2 come from Lit Circles. You need 1 more graphic novel. So I hope that makes sense. We usually keep up with what you've read on a reading log. So if you just want to have a Word document or a Google Doc where you're kind of keeping track of what you've read, that'd be great. Okay, and I can make something like that and stick it on Canvas for you. There might already be something, I'm not sure. Okay, for reading response, sometimes we will have responses that we want to do to the books. We will pretty much always have an online discussion group on the books that we're required to read. So that's considered a reading response, okay? I don't know if there'll be anything else on that. Probably not. Number 5 is book talks and read alouds. I'm going to do a separate video doing a sample book talk and read aloud for you. I'm not prepared to do that at this moment, but that way you can kind of see what each of those look like. But basically a book talk is very short, like a couple minutes of you making the book sound good, advertising it. It's like a commercial for the book, okay? So that will be pretty quick. It says 2 book talks and 2 read alouds. Read aloud, you're not going to read aloud the whole book, obviously. We're talking like 5 to 10 minutes at the most of you reading aloud a really great part from a book. Prefer you not pick the end of the book where you're giving away the ending. By the way, in book talks, we never give away the ending because we want kids to get hooked on it. Like, ooh, that sounds so good. I want to see what happens. If we tell too much or if we tell the ending, it's ineffective because then they already know the answer or they know too much. So with a read aloud also, we don't want to give it away. A read aloud really is just another way of doing a book talk. Sometimes reading from the beginning is a great hook for the kids and they want to keep reading. They want to keep listening. So that's kind of the point of it. Number 7 is the Literature Circle project. We'll talk about that more as we get closer to it. Basically, we're going to pick one book that you guys have read that everybody really responded strongly to, and do just a little project on it. And we may do that. Usually we do it as a group, but we'll see. We're just going to kind of see how it goes, okay? And then the final exam, and then there's quizzes each week, which you'll see that on the schedule, which is the next page in the syllabus. So this week I did put Zoom, but it looks like we're not going to get a Zoom in. That's okay. Maybe next week we can get it in. The presentations are loaded into Module 1 on Canvas, and it's a lot this week, I know. There's an overview of the genres, which will be really helpful for you as you're trying to pick your additional books that you're going to read, and understanding what each of those things is, okay? There's an elements of fiction just to review, like what is plot, what are characters, what's, the theme, that kind of thing. Censorship is just a really interesting topic. You don't need to memorize any of that information. Get the big idea from that one. And the most important thing really is that YA Lit article that I posted on Canvas for you to read and respond to in the discussion group. That is from a website I like called Read Aloud Revival, and it's a great explanation of what is young adult literature. It really helped me understand it better, even though I had been doing this for so long and teaching and reading young adult lit, teaching and reading middle school lit, and just understanding the difference between like middle level literature and young adult. It's really interesting. So I hope that you enjoy that and find that it helpful for you as a teacher. It says modeling of book talks and read alouds. I'm going to do a separate video for those for you guys, and we've kind of gone through the stuff. It says reading response activities. That's really just going to be our discussions online about the books that we read, okay? For next week, you need to have read those 2 graphic novels and post in the discussion group about them. I don't even think I have that on Canvas yet. So I realized that a bunch of my changes didn't save to the class, so I'm going through that and fixing. Okay, so I'm sorry if that has looked confusing. I know there was an announcement that went off that was from a previous year. Sometimes these things are hard to find until it just happens, like an announcement goes off. So forgive me. Reader response. Okay, we're going to close that. We're going to X that off the syllabus, that reader response thing, because it's really just the discussion group on Canvas for the Literature Circle. So you can X out that reader response 1. Quiz 1, yes, I'd like you to take quiz 1 after you've gone through the module and the YA Lit article and discussion thread. So that is really for this week. Please let me know what questions that you have via email or call me. I'd be happy to talk to you on the phone. Hopefully we can connect over Zoom next week, maybe on Tuesday night. My husband has to teach that night up at Harding, but I should be able to get on Zoom. And I'm not talking about a 3-hour time on Zoom. I don't even have that. I have the 40-minute max on my Zoom because I don't have a pro account. But maybe we could just even like 20 minutes to answer questions or connect would be great. Let's just see kind of how it goes. And, if you can stay for as long as you can, that's great. So I will let you know on that, especially if you'll let me know if Tuesday night would work for you, or maybe like Wednesday or Thursday even next week would probably be okay for me. All right, I hope that was helpful for you going through the syllabus together. And I just want you to know I know this is a crazy semester, crazy year. There's lots of grace here for you, and I need it for myself too. Like I said, I was really unhappy when I saw my changes didn't save on Canvas, because I feel like that's confusing for you. It's it's irritating for me, but we're gonna get through this together, and I'm here to talk, to answer questions. Nothing is worth you laying on the floor crying. You just gotta call me or let me know that you're stressing and that you need some help. Okay, see ya.